Hi everyone, what's up? Welcome to Section 51. I am DozGeek and you are watching now Section 51. Yes, welcome. You're always welcome on board the Bellerophon through the infinite space. Yes, the space here. We are in autopilot. We are gonna talk about abduction. That's a very strong subject, a very interesting question, and I have found some interesting articles about that subject. Maybe some of you who are watching the video, some of you have been abducted by mysterious aliens, and you can leave some comments below this video in order to share with us your experiments, what you lived with these beings, these extraterrestrial beings. Was it true? Was it a real experience, or was it just a dream? We don't really know. Some UFO experts are still studying the subject. They are still interviewing the people who experienced these strange events. The people who experimented these events are always shocked, and it's a very we have some testimonies which say that it was always some very painful people who were hurted, were wounded by these experiments, by some entities, by some extraterrestrial beings in some spacecraft with big lights. So this is very strange. There is a lot of different versions, a lot of different testimonies, and today we will see this subject through the example, the case of two men who were abducted by supposed alien beings in the 1970s. I hope you're ready now. Let's go to the web to explore the case of the two abductees in the 1970s. Right now! Yes, okay. We are on the website 9news.com. It's an Australian website, yes. So this is an article written by Freya Noble, published on July the 2nd of 2019. And the article is titled "What Happened to the Two Men Abducted by Aliens in 1973?" You can see one of the two people, the two men on the picture. So on October the 11th of 1973, Charles Hickson and Calvin Parker were on the shores of the Pascagoula River in Mississippi when they say they were abducted by aliens. Now, more than 45 years later, an historical marker has been placed near the river where these men claimed they had their close encounter. On Saturday in July 2019, Parker visited the river banks once again, accompanied by family members to see the marker. So you can see on the picture on the left Charles Hickson, and on the right Calvin Parker, who say they were abducted by aliens. On the night of October the 11th of 1973, Hickson, then 42 years old, and Parker, just a teenager aged 19 years old, were fishing down by the Pascagoula River. Hickson was Parker's foreman at a shipyard, and the pair had gone out after work, according to the Washington Post. He said, "I was just getting ready to get some more bite when I heard a kind of zipping sound. I looked up and saw a blue flashing light. Calvin turned around too. We saw a 30-foot long object with a little dome on top." According to multiple reports over the years, the men said they saw 3 floating creatures with pincer-type claws emerge from the UFO. Then they claimed they were suddenly paralyzed and taken aboard the aircraft, examined by an eye-like object, and released. To the police, what happened next is not contested. The terrified and frantic pair presented to the Jackson County Sheriff's Department and reported what they said happened. Unsurprisingly, police did not believe them. They secretly recorded the pair after leaving the room in a bid to catch them out. However, the men stuck to their story even when left on their own, continually talking about how scared and confused they were by this apparent encounter. And it became an international story. Overnight, the story made headlines all over the world, and thousands flocked to the Mississippi town. There were journalists, scientists, skeptics, and believers hoping to catch their own glimpse of the supposed aliens. Parker published a book about the experience in 2018. Hickson died in 2011. I would be curious to discover, to read this book published by Parker. Both said many people doubted their story. A few witnesses have since come forward to corroborate some details. Do we have some comments on the article? No, apparently not. So this was the story of these 2 men abducted by aliens. I guess that when you have such an experience, your life is definitely changed. You don't see the things in the same way, with the same eyes. It's completely disrupting. So I have one more question. What is alien abduction? Alien abduction, sometimes also called abduction phenomenon, alien abduction syndrome, or UFO abduction, is a personally held belief in which the alleged abductee describes subjectively real experiences of being secretly kidnapped by non-human figures, aliens, and subjected to physical and psychological experimentation. Most scientists and mental health professionals explain these experiences by factors such as suggestibility, false memory syndrome, sleep paralysis, deception, and psychopathology. Skeptic Robert Sheffer sees similarity between the aliens depicted in science fiction films, in particular Invaders from Mars, and some of those reported to have actually abducted people. People claiming to have been abducted are usually called abductees or experiencers. Typical claims involve forced medical examinations that emphasize the subject's reproductive systems. Abductees sometimes claim to have been warned against environmental abuse and the dangers of nuclear weapons. The contents of the abduction narrative often seem to vary with the home culture of the alleged abductee. UFO, alien abduction, and mind control plots can also be part of radical political, apocalyptic, and millenarian narratives. Reports of the abduction phenomenon have been made around the world, but are most common in English-speaking countries. especially the United States. Oh, I know some people in France who claim that they have been abducted too. Some French abductees. The first alleged alien abduction claimed to be widely publicized was the Betty and Barney Hill abduction in 1961. Oh yes, I heard about that. Maybe we will talk about it in another video. Mainstream scientists reject claims that the phenomenon literally occurs as reported. However, there is little doubt that many apparently stable persons who report alien abductions believe their experiences were real. John E. Mack, John Wilson, Rima Leibo, and David Gottlieb assessed that while psychopathology was associated to some cases, most reports were from sane and common people. That's important. Some abduction reports are quite detailed, and sometimes it's very surprising how detailed they are. An entire subculture has developed around the subject, with support groups and a detailed mythos explaining the reasons for abductions. The various aliens, greys, reptilians, Nordics, and so on are said to have specific roles, origins, and motivations. Abduction claimants do not always attempt to explain the phenomenon, but some take independent research interest in it themselves and explain the lack of greater awareness of alien abduction as the result of either extraterrestrial or governmental interest in cover-up. What would be interesting would be to know if some of the abductees have developed some new talents or some new powers due to their abduction or the experiences they were the subjects, the victims. We have some history. While the term alien abduction did not achieve widespread attention until the 1960s, modern speculation about some older stories interpreted them as possible cases. UFO researcher Jerome Clark dubbed them paleo abductions. So, in the November 27th of 1896 edition of the Stockton, California Daily Mail, Colonel H.G. Shaw claimed he and a friend were harassed by three tall, slender humanoids whose bodies were covered with a fine, downy hair who tried to kidnap the pair. In the October 1953 issue of Man to Man magazine, an article by Leroy Thorpe titled "Are the Flying Saucers Kidnapping Humans?" asks the question, are an unlucky few of us, and perhaps not so few at that, being captured with the same ease as we would net butterflies, perhaps for zoological specimens, perhaps for vivisection or some other horrible death designed to reveal to our interplanetary invaders what makes us tick. And Rogerson writes that the 1955 publication of Harold T. Wilkins' Flying Saucers Uncensored declared that Carl Unratz and Wilbur Wilkinson, who had claimed they were contacted by aliens, had disappeared under mysterious circumstances. Wilkins reported speculation that the duo were the victims of alleged abduction by flying saucers. Wow. So we have the case again of Betty and Barney Hill abduction in 1961. Some later developments. John E. Mack. Demographics. Mental health. As a category, some studies show that abductees have psychological characteristics that render their testimony suspect, while others show that, as a group, abduction experiences are not different from the general population in terms of psychopathology prevalence. Elizabeth Slater conducted a blind study of 9 abduction claimants and found them to be prone to mildly paranoid thinking, nightmares, and having a weak sexual identity. While Richard McNally of Harvard Medical School concluded in a similar study of 10 abductees that none of them was suffering from any sort of psychiatric illness. I would say it's normal. It's quite normal that people who claim that they have been abducted would have, due to their experience, they would have paranoid thinking or nightmares, or also a weak sexual identity if they have been the victims of sexual experimentations or vivisection. You don't know. For me, that's logical. Political conspiracy theories. That's the interesting part. Political scientist Michael Barkun, without taking a position on if UFOs and aliens are real, highlighted links between radical politics and conspiracy theories involving UFOs, alien visitation, environmental pollution, hidden groups, government, and world takeover. He observed the rise of a form of eclectic and apocalyptic millenarism, which he termed improvisational millenarism. UFO and abduction stories can often be part of stigmatized or suppressed knowledge narratives where alleged orthodoxy is claimed to be maintained in error for nefarious purposes and to keep society in ignorance. UFO and alien-related conspiracy theories emerged in far-right politics from the 1980s onwards. According to Barkun, in popular culture, TV shows like The X-Files, a nice, super TV show, motion picture not only included aliens as part of cover-up conspiracies with militias and black helicopters, but also featured demonization of FEMA, a common target of conspiracy theorists and millenarian scenarios. One conspiracy theory alleges that FEMA plans to suddenly incarcerate patriots in concentration camps during a disaster. Political scientist Jody Dean noted that the stigma of alien abduction stories is seductive to dismiss consensus reality in favor of deviant alternative realities. Self-described abduction victims often join self-help communities of victims and may resort to questionable regression therapy, similarly to other self-reported victims of child sexual abuse or satanic ritual abuse. Some espouse conspiracy theories of sophisticated technological mind control, including the use of implants to force them to serve an alleged new world order or for the purposes of the Antichrist, considering important to warn the world of such imminent danger. Yes, but there is a lot of cases. I think that on one part you have, on one hand you have some true cases, and on the other hand you have some completely crazy cases and people who develop conspiracy theories and who say completely crazy things about abduction. You have different kind of people. So abduction narrative, we have all these steps which are regularly coming in the stories. So the first step is the capture. The abductee is rendered incapable of resisting and taken from terrestrial surroundings to an apparent alien spacecraft. The second step is examination and procedures. Next, the third step is conference. the abductors communicate with the abductee or direct them to interact with specific individuals for some purpose, typically telepathically, but sometimes using the abductee's native language. The fourth step is the tour. The abductees are given a tour of their captor's vessel. The fifth step is the loss of time. Abductees often rapidly forget the majority of their experience, either as a result of fear, medical intervention, or both. The sixth step is the return. The abductees are returned to Earth, occasionally in a different location from where they were allegedly taken, or with new injuries or disheveled clothing. The seventh step is the theophany. Coinciding with their immediate return, abductees may have a profound sense of love, a high similar to those induced by certain drugs, or mystical experience, accompanied by a feeling of oneness with God, the universe, or their abductors, whether this is the result of a metaphysical change, Stockholm syndrome, or prior medical tampering is often not scrutinized by the abductees at the time. And the eighth step is the aftermath. The abductee must cope with the psychological, physical, and social effects of the experience. So you have several testimonials, attempts at confirmation. Very scary if that kind of things is really happening. And to finish this little study, let me invite you to watch a sample of the trailer of a movie called Fire in the Sky. It's a movie dealing with alien abduction again. It was out in theater in 1993. A very scary movie. With a man who is abducted and with encountering several experimentations on his body. Fire in the Sky. When I saw the trailer, I was based on a true story. Certainly based on a testimony. When I first saw the trailer, I was a teenager. I think I was 15 or 16 years old. And I was really intrigued by the movie. It was I was very surprised and a little bit shocked because the movie is a bit violent. It's strong pictures. You can see the experience and the aliens who are working just around the abductee. That's very scary and a bit violent pictures. So. And that's intriguing, both scary and intriguing, because you always ask yourself, can these experiences be true, or is it just a dream that is made by some people who have psychological problems, or who are under hypnosis? You don't really know. We don't really have the answer to all these questions. And I have to admit that it's a very interesting subject to study if you are a student in psychology. So people, this is the end of this new video. The end of this video about the subject of the two men who were abducted in in 1973. It was an abduction in the Mississippi. Very, very strange story. So guys, I hope you liked this new video. As usual, you can share, like this video, help the channel to grow up. If you never subscribe to the channel and you like the content, you can subscribe the channel. You have all the links all around the video here on the channel. Stay safe, stay tuned to section 51 for the next video which are coming. As usual, again, live long and prosper. Stay to a good distance from the coronavirus and keep watching section 51 because this is a really good channel with a good content where you can learn always some interesting news about UFOs, about aliens, about space, about science fiction, about all these subjects which are interesting us after all. So, people, thank you for watching. That was a very nice moment again with you. This was DozGeek on section 51. See you next time. Bye bye.